Coffee Center is based in Sweden. Do you speak English or Swedish internally? How well do you all speak Swedish? So we speak mostly English at the office. I think like if it's two Swedish people talking to each other, I think most people will speak in Swedish, and if like there's someone else who's not native speaking, we'll probably switch to English, even though maybe they're not part of the conversation, just so that they have a chance to like chime in if they have something to say. I guess it depends a little bit on context. Like if it's two programmers like at their desks talking about a very specific problem, and like the art director walks in, I don't think they'll switch to English maybe in that circumstance. But I will say this, like there is a pretty common problem in Sweden for foreigners where it's really hard to learn the language because Swedish people are so like, I think it's partly being polite. We want to speak English with people, but we also find it so exotic whenever a foreigner comes in. We just like want to speak English with them. So like Swedes will never pass up that opportunity, which is it's a bit of a bummer for people who are trying to learn the language because they never get a proper chance to speak it. In fact, one thing that commonly happens, I find this when I hang out with my like English friends or English speaking friends, is that like even though they're pretty good at speaking Swedish, like they understand Swedish a lot and like they can totally communicate, like they can totally converse in Swedish with you. When they go to like a restaurant or like at a shop or whatever, if they don't like perfectly pronounce like whatever they want, they'll like the other person will immediately switch to English. So like if they come in and say like, hey, I'd like to buy a blah in Swedish, then like if they hear that like, oh, that's not perfect Swedish, they'll respond in English, which is really annoying when you're trying to learn the language. And I believe that happens occasionally at the office as well. But it's kind of like hard, right? Because we want to be, at the office, we kind of like, we want to be as efficient as possible. So maybe it's not always the best time to practice Swedish when you also need to like get your job done and like we have a lot of stuff to do and yada yada yada. But it's hard. It's hard for people to learn the language if they never get a chance to practice. Say something sexy in Swedish. All right. Ska du ha en halvspecial eller? That's I promise you, if you walk up to any Swedish person and say that, they will fall for you immediately. Especially in that accent, okay? All the Swedish people in chat can confirm, all right? Oh boy. Oh, what's this? I'm getting a lot of DMs here from Swedish. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Ludes. What did he say? You look good today. That's what I said. Totally. All right. Anyway, do you think in Swedish or English in your head? I definitely think English. I speak English when I'm alone. Talk to myself. And I speak English with Swedish people constantly. I wonder how annoying that is. You count in English or Swedish? I count in... It depends what type I'm counting. I think I count in Swedish if I'm doing... if I'm counting like big batches, I like to do count by twos, which makes it faster. Because you don't need to count every single thing, you only need to count every other thing. So it's like 2, 4, 6, 8, keep going like that. I do that in Swedish, but I do like single stuff like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 11 things on my desk. Swedish math. Do you eat in Swedish or English? Yeah, that's a hard question. Probably Swedish. This my Swedish smack, like the smack, the sounds I make. Chewing. I chew in Swedish. It's like, you know how like when cows moo in different languages, like I moo in English, but I eat in Swedish. What is Swedish for nom? I don't think we have a word for that.